This is section 7.5, practice A. We're going to look at numbers 22 through 24. We're going to find the perimeter of the triangle. We're going to round to the nearest tenth. This presents a few issues. In this section, I told you it was super important to make sure you had the exact answer before you typed anything into the calculator. Otherwise, you're creating error for yourself. The same thing holds true here. If you want to find the perimeter of a triangle, you need to add up all three sides, and you need to make sure you're adding them and they're the exact answer, and then you can round at the end. You never want to round in the middle of the problem. Okay, so we're going to do number 24 together just because it's a little bit easier, and then we'll gradually work up to tougher ones. So it's a 45, 45, 90 triangle, so I'm not even going to use tangent. If I know one side is 6, I know the other side is 6. Those are my legs. Now my hypotenuse is 6 square root of 2. Those are my three side lengths. I need to add those together. That's my perimeter. 6 plus 6 plus 6 square root of 2. Now, be careful trying to be slick and doing this in your head. It's not 18 square root of 2. We're adding these. It's 12 plus 6 square root of 2 is what that is. Just be careful. If you're ever not sure, just type it in your calculator. 6 plus 6 plus 6 square root of 2. This is my exact answer. I can round that. This is the last step in the problem, so I always round at the end. I'm going to call it 20.49. Now, we're going to gradually work up to tougher problems. This one is tougher because this isn't a 45-degree angle, or a 30 or a 60. So I need to find this side using tangent. Then I need to find this hypotenuse using the Pythagorean theorem. And that's tough when you have to use this exact answer. So watch how we do this. Tangent of 40, 40 being the angle measure, not the side length, since they're both the same number, equals, we'll just call that x right now, x over 40. Okay, variables on top, so you multiply. So this guy over here, I know this is going to seem weird to you. I'm just going to call it 40 times tangent of 40. I'm not even going to type it in the calculator. 40 tan 40. So I know this side is 40, and I know this side is 40 times tangent of 40. How long is this side? Well, it's going to be this squared plus this squared, and then you take the square root of it. So remember how that goes. If I was to call that C, and we go back to Pythagorean theorem, C is equal to the square root of a squared plus b squared. Okay, now a being this guy, b being this guy. Make sure you're using the exact answers. So I'm going to type this in now. I want to type this in. So I'm doing square root of one leg squared. That's 40. That's the easy one. Now the other leg is 40 tangent of 40. So it just seems weird when you type it in. 40 tan 40. That whole thing needs to be squared. This is going to give me the length of this hypotenuse right here. Now, this is the exact length of the hypotenuse. What I don't want to do is round this and then add it to the other two sides. Okay? If you need to know this exact length, I would write it like this. I know that looks weird, but that's the exact length. So I'll just write it in there just because that's what I said to do. It's the square root of 40 squared plus 40 tan 40 squared. Now, add this number with this number with this number. That's your perimeter. And I know it's a lot to type in. But notice how I already have this number in my calculator, and this is exact. So if I just hit plus, and then I type in 40 tan 40, and then I type in plus 40, this is how I'm adding all three sides exactly. I'm not rounding the sides and then adding them. I'm adding the exact side lengths and then rounding. So this is my exact answer. If you round it in between, you're going to get something close to this, but it's not going to be this. 113.91. inches. Okay, so when the unknown leg was the opposite, it made this 40 tan 40. If your unknown leg is the adjacent, then you're going to have to divide here. You would have to do 24 divided by tangent 75 and then square that and add it with 24 squared, then take the square root. That's a nightmare to type into your calculator. So here's how I'm going to kind of get around that issue. If this is a 75-degree angle, remember that little trick I showed you in the lesson? This is a 15-degree angle. So if I use this angle instead, now my unknown leg is the opposite. So I know now that this leg over here is 24 tan 15. That's this exact length. And that's going to be easier to type into the calculator than 24 divided by tan of 75. Okay, so using the strategies that are available to me, I'm trying to find the best path for me to type the exact answer into the calculator. Okay, so hypotenuse. Remember, it's going to look like this. So we want to do square root of 24 squared plus 24 tan 15 squared. Add this to this to this. I know it doesn't look pretty, but we'll start with the toughest one first. Square root 24 squared plus 24 tan 15 squared. That's the length of your hypotenuse. It's the exact length. I'm going to add that to my shorter leg. That's this guy, 24 tan 15. Then I'm going to add my long leg, 24. This is my exact perimeter. I'm allowed to round now. Rounding anywhere in between or before that would be a mistake. Your perimeter is, I lost the number, 54.47. And it's in feet.